This is part 2 of 3 on the principles of layout, where we talk about the theory, the concepts underlying effective compositions. In part 1, we talked about focal point, white space, and hierarchy. And I've got 3 more principles for you in this video. Number 4 on our list is grouping. Instead of spacing elements out evenly, gather things that belong together. This helps the reader make sense of the information. We commonly see this on websites. So the navigation often appears at the top, the items are together, and here we have this on the Dribble site next to the Dribble word mark, navigation to the different areas. In the top right we have some separate items grouped. Often you get a search or a sign in or a basket on an e-commerce shop. Then below that we have the hero section. We have their offer, their proposition, explore the world's leading design portfolios, headline and a byline and a call to action with some imagery next to it, white space around it, clear focal point is the headline, things we talked about in part 1, and then below that are what they call the shots, or the different designs placed in a grid. So there's a clear grouping there of the navigation together at the top, then the hero section, and then the grid of content below it. And that might seem quite obvious, but it's something that often when you have a lot of information from a client, you need to do, and it will help you graphically make sense of things. There's a lot of messy posters out there, but in this one, this poster has a prominent headline, the artist name, and the practical information is grouped together at the bottom, the ticketing information on the bottom right and the when and where on the left. This helps emphasize what you want to emphasize, and it also makes use of the next principle, which is scale. Now, a good way to explain this, and Rand did a great little short on this, is if you have 3 elements that are all the same size, a better way, a more interesting way to present them compositionally is to have 1 large, 1 medium and 1 small. So have things at different scales. So that is shown in these posters by the American studio DKNG. And this gig poster for Jack White, the illustration is the large element, the artist name medium, and the information at the bottom small. And the similar composition is followed. This next example, this poster for the Decemberists, and lovely illustrative work, but the composition is really vital to making these things work, and that sense of scale makes it more interesting, more dramatic, more aesthetically pleasing. So employ large contrasts in size if you want to add drama. Try huge headlines or small captions on images, or full bleed images next to layouts with lots of white space. These sorts of tricks you see in fashion advertising, things like that. I mean, just grab any design mag or fashion mag. I've got Port magazine here in the studio, and like the first advert spread when you just open the inside is this Hermes ad, and we have a lot of these principles we've talked about here: focal point, the model, employing the rule of thirds there that we talked about in the last video, but also scale. So this is a full bleed image, but it actually almost bleeds off the edge, cropping off the model's head and body. But then this small caption here helps emphasize that element of large scale. So try out these kind of things. On the web, something like Apple's website, the iPhone 13 Pro page, we have the scale of the phone at this huge macro size. Something more visually interesting, and as you go through the site you see like the scale of the close-up shots with shots of the entire device with white space around it. And as you move through and play with scale, we have larger type for a paragraph, or then we have this area where we have a dramatic difference in point sizes to produce this dramatic effect. The headline is much larger type size than the body copy here. And we also have this scale principle of large, the photographs, medium, the headline, and small, the body copy. And this site also, and we'll go through it in a moment, makes use of the sixth principle, which is sequence. Now, a video editor understands the power of sequence. How you transition from one shot to another. Do you go from a wide shot to a close-up? The way things are moving, if they're moving from perhaps left to right, how does that affect the next shot? If they're then moving from right to left, will that feel a bit disorienting? And a movie that is edited well tells a story and it leads us through, and the sequencing of shots is really important to that. And we need to think about that too as designers when it comes to layout. So if you're leafing through a well designed coffee table book, you have this cinematic effect because the layout moves around whilst leafing through, although it's perhaps all, or should probably be designed on the same grid, but that little bit of moving around adds that visual interest. It makes it more cinematic. And web designers should think similarly about a user scrolling down a page. So each panel, whatever's in view in the window, shouldn't be considered in isolation, but it should work both in isolation and as part of a sequence, telling a story. So let's have a look at that on a couple of websites right now. Maybe first of all with that Apple website for the i13 Pro. And as you scroll through, you see these principles of grouping. Obviously the menus grouped together at the top and things like that, but even the little links and things. And the idea of scale, we go huge type and then we have smaller type on these captions. And the idea of sequence, each panel looks well by itself, the device dramatically on this big white field. But then we move into a full bleed grid. And again, we have those scale of the close-ups and the full wide shots on each of these rows. And as you move through, the layout's moving around and we have all these principles employed, but the sequence is telling a story. And by being consistent with this very simple black and white color scheme, just using one font and the consistently cropped images and such like that, but it allows you to have that consistency but also interest because the layout's moving around. Now we've got overlaid images, which is a new element. We've got different color backgrounds as we go through, and they each look strong as they could almost be posters, each individual panel, but they also sequence in this really interesting way because it continues to move around and keeps the reader engaged with the page. Let's have a look at something with maybe a little bit more of a smaller budget. This site, Stand With Ukraine. And this is about sharing information from the war. And we have these principles here, grouping. Obviously we've got a top menu, then we have sort of a navigation through the site here across the middle, and the sort of information on the time at the moment in Kyiv and how many days the war has been going on and such like that. But these other elements of scale and sequence are particularly done well on this site. So as we scroll through, we see these images come into view. But underneath, as I move these speech bubbles out of the way, we see a large quotation in the background. So there's a definite difference in point sizes here. And again, they're using sort of larger paragraphs next to smaller captions. And then we have this huge date in the background, which is bleeding off the page. But as we scroll, the 24th of Feb comes into view. And even the composition with these images moving through. They're off axis, bringing a little bit of interest. Following the rules doesn't mean, boring, boxy layouts. And I think this shows here, but it's an element of sequencing. It feels this storytelling, like these images being thrown down on a table or something. It feels like this thing is developing day by day as we are learning more about the story, exactly what is happening. It's really clever, actually, this site. I recommend you check it out. There's this little, if I can get the menu to appear at the top, here you can switch over to Russian truth instead of world truth. and you can see sort of the alternative narrative that's going on, and these, you know, quotes from Vladimir Putin and this kind of thing, and their images from the scenario. So really interesting site. We'll put a link to that down in the description. But let me encourage you to think about, as you're looking at your own designs and as you're observing other people's designs, to see these principles in action: grouping, scale, and sequence, and see how you can implement them and see how others do, and take note of them, and that will help cement these ideas in your mind. We'll be back with part 3 with the final 3 principles of layout. But until next time, happy designing.